Australia, one of the best countries in the world. Well, one of my favorite, maybe. Let's put it that way. Obviously, have learned so much about it, have still a decent chunk of my audience from Australia, and just have made so many friends, or should I say mates, way on the other side of the world in beautiful Australia. Just a great, great place. And there's so much to learn. After all I've done, I still have only scratched the surface on such a unique and fascinating country that's also a continent. See, I know a thing or two. Well, this is 6 strange things we noticed when we moved to Australia. And we being the BAM Famalam in Australia. Cool name, dig the name for sure. And make sure to check this channel out because it will be linked in the description down below because this is their video we're looking at. And this is actually a Discord suggestion from Renee. So thank you very much for that. You guys always come up with great suggestions. Let's waste no more time. Let's get into it. Here we go.
Now it is time to tell you about the strangest things we found about Australia.
Cool. Here we go. Beautiful.
Just a quick disclaimer.
It's hard to find ugly pictures or video of Australia, right? It's just a very scenic, beautiful place.
These are things that we found strange as people coming from another country, not necessarily that they are strange. Number one is prices here fluctuate like crazy. Now this goes from fuel prices to food prices. For example, petrol was being sold at $1.86 here yesterday.
And today it's just jumped up to $2.24. Sometimes
Wow.
it jumps up 30-40 cents in just a day.
So that's why we use our 7-Eleven app to lock in the fuel price for the next 7 days, and this is how it looks.
Good tip, man.
Oh, well, that's kind of cool. I imagine that kind of thing exists here in America. I've never heard of such a thing. That's actually kind of neat. What's funny is this comment hits home, this first one for them, hits home right now. And I mean right now. If you'd have, or if I would have heard this, oh, geez, even maybe 3 months ago, it wouldn't have really hit home because our fuel prices here have been pretty consistent, but they go in blocks. So in, let's say, 2019, early 2020, fuel prices were basically at an all-time low. And I mean since like the year 2000. They were super low, and that was awesome. And then they went up, and then they kind of leveled off for like a year. And then, like I said, that was even 3 months ago. They were pretty cheap. And now gas prices have shot up again in the last 3 months. And I'd say every 3 days, it's one price, then it's way higher. Then it's back down 30 cents. Then it's up 15 cents. It's kind of all over the place. And that is really, really relevant right now. So this, unfortunately, at the moment, I agree with. This is how it is in America. But usually it's not.
Cheers, buddy.
Obviously, fruit and veg are cheaper when they're in season and when there's a big supply.
True.
However, from Europe, it's not something we're used to. If you're in the UK or probably any European country, I'm not sure about America, but you would pay a set amount any day of the year for, say, your broccoli or your cauliflower.
I have to agree. In my experience, anyway, produce and things like this, the only variables would be in season or not, things like that. But for the most part, food prices are pretty consistent here, so, as they must be in Europe in their experience. So that's pretty cool.
Over here, it really does fluctuate a lot, and it was something that we found really strange to begin with. We've obviously got used to it, but it was really strange to us.
It does make sense though, because there's a huge amount of fruit and veg grown here in Australia.
That's
and
true.
Not so much imported.
Number 2.
I was going to say they're very far away from a lot of places, so I suppose that could be a thing. But they also have a very warm climate, so I imagine they could grow a lot of their own things. And in doing so, at least in certain things, they could cut costs on that and not have to import so much. So that's a good thing as well.
Is that even though we're speaking the same language of English, it is so different, and there is so much confusion between English-speaking countries or English-speaking cultures. We can be saying the same words but meaning something completely different.
That's
For example, Ben went on a dogging course this week.
I actually did.
Now, in the UK, dogging is something very perverted and will actually land you in court.
Or just in jail time.
But Ben, explain to us what dogging means to you.
So I now have a license to use the straps and chains and stuff like that, working with crane drivers on building sites. So absolutely nothing to do with the dogging you read about in UK newspapers. So that is...
yeah, and I feel like a total fish out of water because I don't know what either UK meaning of that or the Australian one is, at least before this. So there you go.
It's just one of the misunderstandings we've had here as Poms in Australia.
So it's all English. They speak English in the UK. We speak English in the US. They speak English in Oz. But they are all a little different. And sometimes a lot different. So that I totally agree with.
Thongs is another one, and I am now a proud owner of my own pair of thongs, and I've got to keep it a secret from the rest of the family in the UK. The third thing we'd like to touch on is one that Maz finds very strange, and that's drive-through bottle-os. Because she doesn't really get the whole, I'm going to start driving and buy some beer to carry on driving.
Yeah,
I
realise obviously the idea is not.
Now, I did have people comment when I posted a video of me and Pedro, or Pedro and I should say, going to, well, what you would say in Australia, the servo. I would say gas station. Maybe in the UK they would say, what, petrol station? I don't know. I don't know for sure. I'm just guessing. But in our gas stations, they're huge. I think we just made a video on this, actually. But yeah, they sell everything, and I mean everything. Food, drinks, and tons of alcohol. And I did have a lot of people mention from Australia in that video that me and Pedro were in, where we were at the gas station, that they thought it was pretty grand. They sold a lot of, well, especially they pointed out drinks, a lot of alcohol. And if I remember right, I think a lot of Australians said that they don't really serve alcohol at gas stations in Australia. So on the flip side, we don't have a drive-through bottle-o. We do have liquor stores, which would be essentially the same thing, that are just liquor stores and not gas stations. But I don't know of any that are drive-thrus. That's pretty unique.
That you drink it in the car while you're driving. But to me, if I went through a drive-through fast food restaurant, I would probably be scoffing it in the car. But
unlike some of us that would wait until we got home to eat it.
Not everyone waits. But anyway, it just, when we first saw it...
I'm going to make that a community poll. That's actually a good one. When you go through a drive-through restaurant, you know, fast food like Macca's, McDonald's, whatever, do you just get it and eat it right in the car, or do you get it and take it home? You can comment here if you would like, but you're going to see it again. I'm going to post it on the community post. That's a good one. I like that.
It really made me laugh because I just had visions of people, you know, having the beer chucked in their car and just opening a can to go around drinking, and it just didn't really seem to.
Yikes.
It just wasn't something I'd seen before, and it just seemed a little bit strange. But I do get it. It's
okay.
The idea is not to go around drinking while you're driving.
Right.
No, it's just so you don't have to get out of the car to start loading up your car.
Number 4.
So that one, yeah, I get her shock. Like, I would be shocked too because, like I said, I've never seen a drive-up liquor store here in America. So it is bizarre, but it's bizarre in a good way. It's convenient. You just go up, hey, I'll take a 6-pack of Coors. They throw it, I don't know if they throw it in the trunk or how that works, but they throw it somewhere and you pay for it and you're off. I wouldn't, grab one for the road. I don't think it really encourages that. I think it's just that it's convenient because it's not the same as food. So yeah, that's a really good one.
4 is that licensing laws are so different here. It can be different, well, it is different in every state. So you might be able to purchase alcohol in a supermarket in one state, but in Queensland you definitely can't.
Oh, wow.
And the other thing that really got us was that there are certain days of the year where they make it actually harder to buy alcohol, such as Good Friday, which was really strange to us. We'd not really had those kind of restrictions before, and we didn't realise they were going to be in place.
Okay, this video is actually really fascinating for me as an American, and hopefully it's fascinating for you in the audience, because I do have an audience from scattered across the world, which is awesome. I'm very thankful for. It's fascinating for me because I have my American experience, which also involves 50 different states, and I'm looking at someone's perspective from the UK who is also now living in Australia. So they have their difference compared to Australia. I have my difference compared to Australia. And I'm also learning their UK experience. So I'm kind of learning two at once while having my third experience, if you think about it, right? It's a triangle of events. So it sounds like in the UK, at least from what I've gathered, what she's saying is maybe it's more straightforward with liquor sales and things like that. Whereas here in the U.S., it is varied by state. Some states are very strict on alcohol. Some states don't even sell it on Sundays at all. Some sell it only in certain hours. And then you have some states where you can basically, it seems like, buy it anywhere, anytime. It doesn't matter, right? So that's a thing in Australia too, it sounds like, and that's relatable to America because Australia has different states and territories. America has different states and territories. So that's kind of similar, something we share. Whereas in the UK, they might not do that as much.
Certain public holidays, but Good Friday seems to be a really big deal here. And there's a lot of rules in place.
Some of the towns in Australia, you can't even drive through with alcohol in the boot, let alone buy anything. It's done to protect some communities, but it's something we've never heard of before.
On that note, actually...
Now, I don't know of any so strict here in America where you can't even have it in your car if you cross state lines. Oh, you know what? I do know one, and it's very specific. There is a very famous, at least in America, brand of beer called New Glarus Brewing Company. They're out of Wisconsin, New Glarus, Wisconsin. And it's very good. I believe Spotted Cow is their most famous flavor, and it's very good as well. And what's funny is that one, you can only... Okay, so this is a little different. You can buy it in Wisconsin only. Now, of course, you can be from Illinois, like me, and go up there and buy it and then take it home wherever you are. But you cannot sell it anywhere but Wisconsin. So there was actually a bar in next door, neighboring Minnesota, and this bar was selling New Glarus and somehow got caught and I believe had to pay extensive fines or got sued or something. But that's a weird example that I can think of, but I can't think of anywhere you buy alcohol and then can't cross state lines with it once it's purchased. That's pretty strict.
This is a bit of an extra one, but on that note,
lucky you.
You will find that if you go out to places on a public holiday, you'll be charged a surcharge, such as if you went to a cafe or restaurant, of maybe 15%, I think.
Wow.
And the reason for this is they actually pay their team members more on those days.
Oh, okay.
So you as the customer can, obviously pay for that. So that's something we'd never encountered before either. But it is a good thing for the Aussies because it means that they're being paid well for working those undesirable days.
Right. That makes sense.
No one wants to work an undesirable day.
No.
Number 5, alive.
So it's a thing in America depending on if you work for a good company or bad company. If you work for a good company, you will get holidays off. That's great. If you work for a company that kind of sucks, you're going to have to work holidays. But some companies will pay you, time and a half or double time, double pay for working on a holiday. Or some companies that are just really bad, or even a small business that's just really kind of mean, they won't pay you any extra, at least I know of. So that sucks. And from my experience, I don't remember ever paying more, let's say at a restaurant or cafe. I don't remember paying more on a holiday than any other day. So even if maybe the team members are getting paid more, I don't think it reflects on the customer's bill. I could be wrong, but in my experience, I don't remember that here in America.
They celebrate the Queen's birthday over here, and they're not even on the same day in each state. I think each state just choose a day to celebrate the Queen's birthday.
Yeah, I think is it June for most states, and then for some reason Queensland celebrates at the beginning of October. So even though we're celebrating the Queen's birthday, it doesn't necessarily need to be on the Queen's birthday.
It's definitely strange. I think it might just be that Australians want a day off.
I think it was stranger to us because being from the UK, we don't celebrate the Queen's birthday, so it seemed really funny that we got a public holiday for it here.
So listen up.
Now that's funny because I don't know anything about that. Being an American, we don't celebrate the Queen's birthday at all. I don't even know what it is. I'll admit it. But it's kind of funny to hear that they don't have they don't celebrate the Queen's birthday, did she say, in the UK? But they do all the way down in Australia. Now that's different for sure.
They're UK, because I think the Australians just give you a ripper idea for another bank holiday.
Number 6
Probably
is
Got the fingers.
the term Yena. So that's a really strange one to
we
get
say
used
that
to.
in
We're used
America.
to it. We actually use it.
I
but
say it.
It's a funny one to begin with because it means no.
Right.
Or you go the other way round and it's nah, yeah.
And that means yes.
Yeah.
Oh, I must have an Australian coded soul inside because there's been a lot of words I found out that are quote unquote Aussie that I've said my whole life, way before I learned about Australia. And yeah, I say stuff like yeah, nah, and then nah, yeah. I admit it. I'm serious.
It's like, no, I know what you're getting at.
Confused much? We were too. If you want to say no to something, just yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
Yeah, nah.
I love it. We're teaching Australian language.
Yes. Nah, yeah.
And I need you to
Alrighty,
stand
so
up.
that is it. That's 6 strange things we noticed when we moved to Australia. That is from the Bam Family in Australia. Make sure to check them out in the link below. I really enjoyed that video. I thought that was very fun. And different stuff, like really down-to-earth, honest stuff that was different than what I've expected, and that's a good thing. So this was very fun to learn, especially because I got to learn their UK perspective, which is new to me as well, and then learning how that was different from the Australian perspective, both of those being unique and both of those being slightly different in cases than my perspective over here in the United States. That was really fun. These are the types of videos I really do enjoy, and I think it's fun for everyone because everyone has their own experience, and all of these countries have slightly different flares and flavors when it comes to certain topics, and that's what makes the world go round. I think it's awesome, and we can compare them and learn how other places do stuff, and I think it's very refreshing. Very fun. So yeah, make sure to check that video out in the description. Make sure to smash that thumbs up button. Throw a like on this video if you enjoyed it and learned something new. I guarantee you learned something. I hope you did because that was a lot of fun. It will help the video out. And make sure to subscribe if you haven't already. If you haven't, you're missing out on one of the best communities on YouTube. We absolutely love this community, and I interact with my fans and learn so much from you guys, and awesome suggestions like this come from you guys as well. So yeah, make sure to join one of the best communities by simply hitting that subscribe button. I appreciate it. Also, you can interact with me on Discord down in the description, and other ways like the P.O. Box, stuff like that. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at IWrocker. My name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker. Until next time, guys, take care, have fun, and I'll catch you later.